thanks for coming in.
Yep.
We'll start with our first question for Justin. We'll start with Hunter to your right, Justin.
Hey, Justin. Hey. You've been very open and comfortable talking about the baseballs this year. You talked about the increased home run rate, and now a story by Tom Gucci is talking about the slickness of the baseballs. What would you like done about the baseballs that MLB is putting out there?
I don't know what I'd like done. I think anybody, all you can ask for is consistency. I think, over the years, the numbers speak for themselves. I know Mr. Manfred says the balls haven't changed, but I think there's enough information out there to say that's not true. Whether he has to say so or not, I don't know. But I think we just want consistency. Whether the balls are juiced or not. Hey, I'm pitching with the same ball that everybody else is pitching with, so that's a fair and even playing field. When I think the main complaint is that the balls seem a little bit different in the postseason, and even from the postseason to the World Series balls, they're a little slick. You just deal with it, but I don't think it's the case of one pitcher saying, hey, something's different here. I think it's as a whole, everybody's saying, whoa, these are something's a little off here. So. On one hand, you can have somebody say that manufactures the balls, they're not different, and on the other hand, you can say that the people that have held a ball in their hand their entire life are saying it's different. You value one over the other. You take your pick.
First row here.
Those are two parts to this. Number one, you seem to relish these high leverage situations, no matter where the series stands or tomorrow's start. And then number two, what impresses you the most about this Dodger hitting lineup?
These are what it's all about. These are the moments that you want to be a part of as a baseball player. It's everything you could ask for. Whether like you said, Game 6, it's either win it to stay alive or win it to win it all. Either way, it's going to be pretty intense. And what was the second part? Sorry.
And then the other is, what impresses you about this Dodger hitting lineup?
The whole lineup from top to bottom. They're so deep, they're so talented. They've got a great mix of guys that hit home runs and guys that really can battle you and not strike out and put the ball in play and do the little things. They've got a good mix of veteran guys over there that have a lot of information over time that they can share with some of the rookies. It's very, I think, similar to our ball club. It's just you got the right mix of veterans with younger talent. The younger talent is wise beyond their years and playing like veterans. It's a lot of fun to be part of a World Series where two teams are so evenly matched, in my opinion.
On the right aisle, Jorge, former.
Justin, you've been teammates with Alex Bregman for 2 months now. What have you learned about his game, and does he remind you of anybody you've played with or against before?
He's a ball player, and that's kind of one of the ultimate compliments you can give a baseball player. He's just a ball player. He does everything he can possibly do to help us win. He's not scared at all. I think you can see in some of the defensive plays he's made and some of the home runs he's hit against the pitchers that he hit him. That he hit him against. He thrives in big moments, and when the pressure's on, he's a guy you want in your corner. It's been really incredible to see how mature he is as a baseball player for how young he is since I got here. And as far as someone he reminds me of, maybe Pedroia. That type of kind of just gritty ball player.
Right in front here, Mark.
Justin, is there any difference about your approach mentally or physically, however you do, if you're pitching tomorrow in a clinching situation, on Tuesday, in a clinching situation or in an elimination game?
No change. Take the ball, try to win.
And on your left, Mark.
There's an emphasis these days among some hitters about lofting the ball, maybe trying to hit it higher, launch angles, etc. How do you and other pitchers try to take advantage of that? If there's any way to do that?
I think with that, there's always holes in a hitter's swing. I think you just try to find them and you try to execute your pitches. You try to balance your strengths, their weaknesses, and really, I think what it comes down to when you're out there on the mound is trusting your instincts and finding what is working for you that day, what you have a good feel for, and executing those pitches. as lifting the ball, you know, it seems more and more people are starting to try to do that. It makes sense. We kind of touched on the balls. I mean, why not try to lift them? You know, as far as your approach against that type of offensive approach, you know, I think, you know, when I'm out there, it comes down to execution of what I have good feel for that day. And, you know, sometimes in certain situations, you're trying to think of what the best pitch to induce a ground ball can be.
Towards the back on the other left aisle, Tim.
Justin, I don't want to belabor the ball thing, but I'm curious, if we're talking about slickness, is it simply a matter of more mud, better mud, mud application, or is there a broader element here that I just don't understand?
I'm assuming it's the same mud. I think I know baseball uses the same mud for every single ball for every single game that's played. So I think there's a broader issue that we're all missing.
Maybe it's a volume of mud? Enough? Not enough?
I mean, I've had a lot of different balls rubbed up by different people over my career. You know, you get some that are a little darker, some that are a little lighter, a little more mud, a little less mud. That's pretty normal.
On the right here, Vaughn, in the second row.
Hey, you give your all every start out, but do you think even since the trade in the last 2 months, given pennant race games, postseason, your intensity and level picks up somehow over what it was the first 5 months?
Absolutely. I think the level of focus and intensity does go up, especially goes up in the playoffs. You know, I think that's something that you just can't sustain that over a full season. And I think I touched on this a week or so ago, but you'd be burnt out. I mean, you can't focus that much mental energy and physical drain on hanging on every single pitch that way, and the crowd and the intensity that it all encompasses. You just can't do that every single day out for 34, 35 starts. But you know, as soon as the postseason starts, and you know, you're living or dying on every single pitch, and your whole team is living or dying on every single pitch, you know, it changes everything.
Right up front here.
Just along those lines, I'm sure you've heard a million times during your career that your teammates have the ultimate faith in you when they hand you the baseball. Given the circumstance, does that resonate maybe a little bit more that you're new here and yet every one of your teammates tells us that and they can't wait to see you do your thing given the circumstances?
I mean, yeah, that does mean a lot. You know, I think as a baseball player, you always appreciate the respect of your teammates in the clubhouse, on the field, in all aspects. You know, we're like a family. We spend so much time together. You know, for them to say that about me, that means a lot, because I take a lot of pride in going out there and you know, win, lose, or draw. Well, there is no draw in baseball. You know, win or lose, I think that's what my teammates understand, is that I'm giving. There's no preparation or thing that I could do to possibly try to be any better. I've given everything I possibly can and prepared as best I possibly can, and I think that's all you can ask for as a teammate.
On your far left, towards the back.
Now that you've had almost a week here of an up-close look at the Dodgers hitters, anything take you by surprise about anybody in particular or their lineup in general?
No, not really. I mean, I think throughout the course of the season, you know, there's so much you can study. You can try to figure guys out. I heard Verlander say that he tried to go opposite field in batting practice for the first time ever the other day or yesterday. So I guess that's different for him. You know, but I mean, that's normal throughout the game of baseball. People make adjustments one way or the other. Pitchers make adjustments to hitters. Hitters make adjustments to pitchers. But as a whole, I mean, these guys have their swings. They have their strengths. I have my strengths. I think we all know each other pretty well at this point.
On your left, JP.
There's a lot of talk about the weather in Los Angeles, how the heat might have had an impact on the run environment in games 1 and 2. The high for Tuesday is supposed to be 69 degrees, a lot cooler. How much of a difference do you think that would make?
I don't know. I haven't played much in LA. That's a question for the Dodgers. They're way more used to the weather than I am. But that's pretty crazy. The weather changes that much in like 4 days.
On the back, David here over here.
Justin, you had success against the Dodgers back in August, and I remember you said the way that you pitched them was to attack and not let them breathe. Did you use the same game plan the first time around in this series, and did you pass that along to some of the other starters in this series because they seem to have had success?
I mean, I think as a whole, that's a good game plan to have against most teams, especially teams like the Dodgers. You know, that was a game plan I had against the Astros when I pitched against them. I mean, lineups that are this deep, this talented, you just have to stay on top of them. If they kind of, you know, get the momentum rolling, get the ball rolling, get, you know, a couple base hits and a walk, you know, and another base hit, then they're vibing off of all that, and you just can't. I mean, you can't ease up at any moment against these guys. You know, especially if you get the momentum on your side, you just got to continue to attack. And you know what? If it ends up lending to a home run or a hard hit ball or something, I'd rather take my chances attacking than I would trying to nibble around these guys, because I feel like against these lineups, nibbling is how you get yourself in big time trouble.
On your right for us, man.
Just, I wonder if you have any special way of coping with pressure, and I wonder when the trade happened, you started so strong here at Memphis, but was it a different kind of pressure than maybe you felt in other times in your career with the new club?
I mean, I think the best way to cope with pressure is routine. I don't know whether that's something I do different than anybody else, but I mean, my routine specifically on game day is so ingrained in my mind and my body that I think that really helps kind of put me at ease. And now you're going to have the anxiousness, you're going to have the nerves, you're going to have those feelings. Those don't go anywhere. But you can always rely on your routine, I think, to kind of, I guess, just comfort yourself. I you know, I guess that's the only thing you can do. I mean, there's no special way, there's no special recipe. I think, you know, you either deal with it or you don't. I mean, I'm going to find a way to deal with it.
On your right, Justin, Kevin.
Justin, through the years, why do you think baseball makes it so difficult when pitchers going all the way back to lowering the mound, issues with baseball, you know, now, all these different things? It's just simply because they want more offense? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty clear. I think our commissioner has said publicly that they wanted more offense in the game. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm not fabricating a quote here when I say that. I think it was right around All-Star break of 15 or right before that he said that.
Told AJ is here, so Justin, I appreciate your time.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin.